The Schedule tab was designed to quickly and effectively schedule and manage patient visits throughout the entire application. This tutorial will orient you to the Schedule tab. The specifics of how to use the features and functionality will be covered in follow-on tutorials. This tutorial will show you where to locate the tab line, select an office, search for a patient, the patient queue, the day and week schedules, the Power Scheduler, and will show you the primary tool for scheduling a patient, the Schedule Balloon. If nothing else, remember, it's all about the process. The scheduling process is a lot more than simply linking a patient's name with a time slot for a particular practitioner. Scheduling should also be used to manage the patient flow through an office, ensure consistent return patient visits, control and manage the services you provide, and allow quick access to all patient records. Furthermore, scheduling should not be limited to the front office staff during office hours. All members of a practice's team should have access to the schedule at all times, in all situations, to maximize the efficiency and transparency of the scheduling process. Redpine's system provides you with several tools that allow you to master this process and the sub-processes involved. The Schedule tab in the top left screen contains the primary scheduling tools and is where the front desk staff generally spends the majority of their time. Let's peruse around the Schedule tab screen to orient ourselves. When facilitating a multi-office practice, you'll need to select the office that you are currently working in to correctly view and use such items as the schedule, electronic medical records, and claims creation. Select the appropriate office from the drop-down, and every part of the application will automatically adjust to your selection. Note, if your practice has just the one physical location, one office, then this feature won't even show up. The patient search box is in the top left corner of all three main tabs and allows you to search for existing patients within the system. You simply type in any part of their name and the system begins to look for the letter combinations, with no need to strike the return or enter key. You can search for the first and last names or any part of the name. The more of the name you type in, the more precise the search. Click here to add a new patient into the system. Notice that the Add New Patient button is co-located with the patient search box. This is no coincidence. It is an excellent habit to always search for the patient's name in the system before adding them. It can create a real headache if you inadvertently create a second patient record. So always, always, always search for the new patient before entering them. The patient queue is also visible on all three primary tabs. This tool is used to manage your patient flow through the office. We'll get into the details later. The last two major items in the Schedule tab are the upper and lower schedules, or more specifically, the upper schedule is designed to show a detailed view of a single day for all of the practitioners within the selected office. We have a Power Scheduler feature that allows you to schedule multiple appointments for a patient all at the same time. There's a button above the day schedule to the left that says Power Schedule. The lower schedule is the week view for the selected practitioner. This schedule is primarily used to cluster book, or rather group your appointments together as much as possible to maximize your downtime. The primary tool to schedule a patient is the Schedule Balloon here. There are several ways to open the balloon, and several methods that you'll learn to pre-populate most of the drop-down boxes, which will allow you to schedule a patient in as little as 2 clicks. These methods will be discussed in follow-on tutorials. Let's talk about the areas of the balloon now. Patient's name. This patient's upcoming appointments will only show if there are some scheduled. Otherwise, this box simply won't be there. The patient's primary phone number is listed here for convenience. The ability to select a primary practitioner by type is discussed in the Patient Information Screen tutorial. The purpose of listing these here are simply to assist the front office staff in the scheduling of a patient in offices with multiple practitioners. Click on the calendar icon here to change the date for this appointment. The Visit Type feature allows you to distinguish a type of visit using colors on both the schedule and patient queue. In our example, I can quickly distinguish cash patients, new patients, or existing patients here for an exam, massage patients, or patients here for a simple adjustment. Because you customize the names and colors of visit types, the possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Select an offering. These are treatments and services that you create later on during system setup that have default time allocations assigned to them. This selection will determine how much time is to be blocked off on the schedule for this appointment. If your office has multiple practitioners on the schedule, select them here. Select a time block for this appointment. Note, If a time block is completely booked as per your predetermined parameters, it simply will not be available for selection. Finally, when all of the details for this specific appointment have been determined, click the Schedule button. As I stated before, we will show you some of the methods that you can use to determine all of these details in as little as 2 clicks, so don't think that you have to select all of these boxes for each appointment. Now that you have a general idea of where everything on the screen is and the basic layout of the schedule balloon, view the follow-on tutorials that get into the details of how each of these components work.